Today we're going to continue to work on and continue finding angles and variables within triangles and outside of triangles. First, solve your two do-now problems. Alright, so for number one, I'm looking for the value of x. I see that I have one triangle and I have all three angles. I know that all angles in a triangle equal 180, so I can set my equation automatically equal to 180. This is all three angles put together. So I have x, then I'm putting that together with my second angle, x plus 10, and then I'm putting that together with the third angle, x plus 2. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. I have 1x, 6x, and x to give me a total of 8 x's. Then I have a positive 10 and a positive 2, which gives me a positive 12, and that all equals 180. Solve my two-step equation. I have to subtract 12 on both sides because that's the opposite of a positive 12. I'm left with 8x equals 168. Divide both sides by 8, and I get x equals 21. Always go back and look at the question. The question was asking for the value of x. I found x, so I am done with my question. X equals 21. Be sure at all times that you're checking and correcting your work. Fix any mistakes that you made. Alright, so for number 2, I'm given these parallel lines with the transversal cut between them. I see that angle 7 is 122, and I'm looking for angle 2. So the first thing I need to look is and find relationships between the angle I have, the 122, and the angle 2. So when I look at angle 2, a couple things. I see that its alternate interior angle is 8. 8, therefore, is the same as 2 because they're alternate interior angles. I also see another relationship between angle 2 and angle 3. Angle 2 and 3 are on one straight line, therefore they're supplementary. They add up to 180. So now I'm going to look and see from what I'm given with the 122, can I either get angle 8 or can I get angle 3? So a couple different things. I know and I can see that angle 7 is going to be congruent to angle 3 because they're corresponding. They're on the same side of the transversal, this right side, and they're on the same part of the parallel line. Angle 3 is below the parallel line, and angle 7 is below the other parallel line. So angle 3 is 122. We just said that angle 3 and 2 are supplementary, so they add up to 180 degrees. So therefore, I just need to subtract 122 from 180, which means angle 2 is 58 degrees. If you solved it another way and still got 58, that's fine. There's multiple ways to solve all of these angle problems. Alright, so we're going to review this problem together as a little focus question before you do your practice. So I'm looking for the measure of angle ACB. ACB is this angle right here. I'm given all three angles within my triangle just like the do now. So I'm going to go ahead and set all three of these angles equal to 180. So I have 3x plus 28. I have 5x plus 52. And I have 2x minus 10. I'm going to combine my like terms. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. So I'm left with 10x. 28 plus 52 is 80. 80 minus 10 is 70. That 70 is positive, which is why it is a plus 70. All equals 180. From here, I subtract 70 on both sides, and I'm left with 10x equals 110. Again, be sure you have all of this on your paper. I'm going to divide both sides by 10, and I get x equals 11. Always go back to your question. The question says, what is the measure of angle ACB? So I did not answer my question because all I found was x. When I look at angle C is equal to 2x minus 10. So now I know what x is though. I know x is 11, so I can plug that in for the variable. So angle C is 2 times x. But I know what x is, so this time I need to do 2 times 11 and then subtract 10. 2 times 11 is 22. Subtract 10, and I get 12. So angle C is 12 degrees. Think about the problems we've done. Think about the information, the angles you're given, and solve for the angle of CED now on your own. All right. So in this problem, I don't have all 3 angles of my triangle. There are 2 different ways you could do this. What I do have is an exterior angle. The 121 is the exterior angle on the outside. I know that the exterior angle is also equal to the sum of the opposite 2 angles. So that means the 1 plus 15x, my angle E, put together with my angle D of 9x is going to equal 121. The sum of the 2 opposite angles equals the exterior angle. So from here, I could combine my like terms to get 24x plus 1 equals 121. Subtract 1 from both sides, and I get 24x equals 120. Divide both sides by 24, and I get x equals 5. Now, if you did not solve it that way, that's okay. If you got 5, awesome. Another way you could have done it is you could have found that third angle in the triangle. This angle right here, angle C, would be 59 degrees because these 2 angles right here are on a straight line, so they're supplementary. So they're going to equal 180. So I could do 180, subtract the 121, which is what I have, and I would get 59. From there, like the 2 problems we did, we could set all 3 of those angles equal to 180. 180 degrees in a triangle. So if you did it this way, you would combine all 3 angles. So we would still have the 15x plus the 9x to give you 24x. But the 59 plus the 1 would give me plus 60. Again, all 3 of those angles combined equals 180. I'm not going to solve that because either way you still get x equals 5. Now, let's go back to the question. What is the measure of angle CED? So far I have only found x, and when I look at what CED is represented as 1 plus 15x. So instead of writing x now, I know x to be 5, so I can solve. So 1 plus 15 times 5, because 5 is x. 15 times 5 is 75. So 1 plus 5 is 76. So angle CED equals 76. Make sure you have everything corrected if you made any mistakes. Okay, so the rest of the time is your practice to get really good at finding angles within triangles and the exterior angles. So workout number 1 on your paper, solve, and then we'll go over it. Alright, so I'm looking for the value of x, so I'm going to set all 3 of my angles equal to 180. So we have 2x plus 7, we have 5x, and we have positive 12, and all of that's going to equal 180. So when I combine my like terms, 2x and 5x is 7x, and 5 plus 12 is 19, equals 180. Again, check and correct, make any corrections if you made any mistakes. So I'm subtracting 19 from both sides to get 7x equals 161. I'm going to divide both sides by 7, and I get x equals 23. Going back to my question asked for the value of x, so I am done, and x equals 23. For number 2, the variable in the diagram says z, but you can just think of it as x. So like angle A says 2z, but you can think of it just as 2x. Instead of 5z, you can think of it as 5x. So go ahead and solve for x for number 2. Alright, so here I don't have all 3 angles, but I do have an exterior angle. So there's 2 ways that you could have set it up. You could have combined 5x minus 2 plus the 2x to equal the 145. Again, the sum of the opposite angles equals the exterior angle, and got 7x minus 2 equals 145. Or you could have found the third angle in the triangle by subtracting 145 from 180, since these 2 angles are on a straight line and supplementary, to get 35. Then you could have combined all of your 3 angles and still gotten 7x, and then a positive 35 and a minus 2 is a positive 33, and again, all 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. Either way you set it up, check your answer at the end. So I'm going to solve this one by adding 2 to both sides. I get 7x equals 147. Divide by 7, and we get 21. My question asks, what is the value of x? So I found it, x equals 21. Before you solve number 3, look at your paper and correct this exterior angle. So the exterior angle in number 3 should be 128, not 126. So fix that now before you solve. Then go ahead and solve for number 3. Alright, so same thing as before. I have an exterior angle and I know the 2 opposite angles, so I can combine them. I have 6x plus 1 and I have 5x plus 17. When I put those together, they're going to give me the exterior angle of 128 degrees. So combining my like terms, 6 plus 5 is 11x, 1 plus 17 is 18, and again I'm going to set that equal to 128 degrees. And again, if you found the third angle in the triangle and set all 3 angles equal to 180, that is completely fine. From here I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides, and I get 11x equals 110. Divide by 11, and I get x equals 10. Go back to the question. The question asks, what is the value of x? So I am done because I have x equals 10. Solve question number 4. So here I don't have the exterior angle, but that's what I'm looking for. I am given all 3 angles in the triangle, which means I can write an equation and set them all equal to 180. So I have 3x plus 4 as one angle, I have another 3x, and I have a 2x. So when I combine, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8. So I have 8x plus 4 equals 180 for my triangle. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I'm left with 8x equals 176. Divide both sides by 8, and I get x equals 22. Go back to the question. That question is asking for the exterior angle. That was not labeled x, so I am not done. So now I need to ask myself, what do I know and where is a relationship between this exterior angle and another angle? There's two different ways we can do this. I know that 3x plus 4 and the exterior angle are supplementary because they're on the straight line. So if I know what this angle is, then I can subtract that from 180 to get the opposite. So let's go ahead and put, instead of 3x plus 4, I can now replace x with 22, which is what I just found. So 3 times 22 plus 4. So I get 66 plus 4. So the inside angle is 70 degrees. So that angle, 70 degrees, plus my question mark angle, gives me 180 because, again, they're on a straight line. They're supplementary. So I'm going to subtract 70 from both sides. So the exterior angle is 110 degrees. As always, if you found this a different way, that's fine. Just make sure you show your work. Solve question number 5. Okay, so I have an exterior angle. I have the two angles opposite, so I can add them together. So I have 8x plus 7 and 11x minus 1. Those two together are going to give me my exterior angle of 120. When I combine, I get 19x plus 6 equals 120. Subtract 6 from both sides, and I'm left with 19x equals 114. Divide by 19, and I get x equals 6. Go back to the question. The question says, what is the value of x? And I've solved that, so I'm done. X equals 6. Solve question number 6. All right, so I'm looking for the measure of the smallest angle. Right now, all of them have variables, so in order to figure that out, I'm first going to have to find what x is, which means I'm going to combine all angles and put it equal to 180. So 4x minus 9, 5x plus 2, and my 2x are all going to equal 180. So 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 2 is 11x, a negative 9 and a positive 2. They're different signs, so I'm going to subtract to get 7. I have more negatives, so that's going to be a minus 7, and that all equals 180. Now I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Since this is a minus 7, I have to do the opposite. I'm left with 11x equals 187. Divide both sides by 11, and I get x equals 17. Going back to the question says, what is the measure of the smallest angle? So when I look at these angles, one of them says 5x. So that's multiplying x by 5. Another says 4x, so that's multiplying the x by 4. And this one is 2x, multiplying by the x by 2. So that clearly is going to be the smallest angle. So all I need to do is 2 times x, which I now know is 17. So 2 times 17 is 34. So the smallest angle is 34 degrees. Solve question number 7. All right, I'm looking for the measure of EFD, which is this angle up here. So that's 3x, so I first need to find the value of x. So here I have another exterior angle problem. So my 3x put together with my 7x plus 14 all is going to equal the exterior angle of 134. And again, if you found that third angle right there and put them all equal to 180, that's fine. So when I combine, I get 10x plus 14 equals 134. I'm going to subtract 14 on both sides. I'm left with 10x equals 120. We need to divide both sides by 10, and we get x equals 12. Now, going back to the question, we're looking for EFD. EFD was not labeled as x, it was labeled as 3x. So to find the value of EFD, I just need to do 3 times my x, which is 12, and 3 times x, or 3 times 12, is 36 degrees. So angle EFD measures 36 degrees. And solve our last one, question number 8. I'm looking right now for the measure of ACD, which is this exterior angle. So I can use the angle right next to it, 3x, because 3x and exterior ACD are on a straight line, so those are going to add up to 180. But I first need to find what angle C is. So I'm going to combine all 3 angles and set them equal to 180, because a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. Combine my like terms and I'm left with 6x plus 54 equals 180. Subtract 54 on both sides, and we have 6x equals 126. Divide both sides by 6, and we get x equals 21. I'm looking for the measure of ACD, and ACD is not x, so I'm not done. Again, we said ACD and this 3x are supplementary, so that means they're equal together to 180. I can find this angle right here by doing 3 times x, which is now 3 times 21, and I get 63. So this angle 63 plus the angle ACD is on a straight line, so it equals 180. Subtract 63, and angle ACD is 117 degrees. So awesome work today. Think about any of the problems that you got wrong, what your mistake was, and hopefully you'll fix them for next time. So now, if you are done early, take the challenge and attempt the bonus question at the bottom of your worksheet for extra credit.